Well, it's 7 o'clock, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. And so good evening, counselors, staff, and of course our online viewers. I would like to acknowledge that we are on Mississauga First Nation land, the land of the Ojibwe. Tonight marks a milestone on the budgetary process for council to pass the 2021 capital and operating budget. The process started, as council knows, you could go back to September 17th when we saw our vision boards, or you could go back to October 7th when our treasurer, Sue Dent, gave council an overview of the critical path required to bring forward the proposed budget deadlines. Since that date, the town CAO, directors, managers, and staff have worked diligently with the treasurer to make each milestone working, and with the input of council, I think we got it. Tonight will be the final piece, fingers crossed, in the budgetary process. 2020 was not an easy year on many platforms as COVID-19 gave us a curveball of pandemic proportions. It's hard to believe that a year ago today marked the first COVID-19 case in Canada, and 12 months later, we're dealing with outbreaks and losses of loved ones. We are so very grateful to our frontline staff in healthcare, retail, and in all service delivery workers. Our municipal staff have been incredibly resourceful, and we thank them for going above and beyond in meeting our service delivery objectives. Without further ado, let's look at the town budget for 2020. And before proceeding, are there any declarations from council on pecuniary interest? Going once, going twice, and I see no hands up, so we will say that there were none. Moving on to our administrative reports and presentations, I have a motion from the treasurer, and the first motion is from Councillor Summers, seconded by Councillor B. Dunbar. Be it resolved that council approve the agenda as presented. All in favor of this motion? And that is carried. Thank you. And I have a motion from Councillor J. Dunbar, seconded by Councillor Wells. Be it resolved that council accept the OREG 284-09 report for the 2021 budget year. And this is what we will be discussing. Moving forward to 4.1, the treasurer on budget expense exclusions. Are there any questions from council on this report? And seeing none, all in favor of this motion? And that is carried. Thank you. Moving on to 4.2, we have two motions from the library CEO, read the Blind River Library Board 2021 budget resolutions. I'll read the first resolution. Moved by Councillor Roy, seconded by Councillor Pastorero. Be it resolved that council accept the revised budget submission from the Blind River Public Library Board. Discussion. All in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. And the second motion, moved by Councillor Wells, seconded by Councillor B. Dunbar. Be it resolved that council authorize the transfer of any surplus funds from the Blind River Public Library Board 2020 budget to the library reserve account per the memorandum of agreement. Discussion. All in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. Moving on to 4.3, the treasurer has presented us with the 2021 revised draft budget. And I have a motion from Councillor Roy, seconded by Councillor Summers. Be it resolved that council adopt the 2021 municipal budget as presented. Discussion. And seeing none, all in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. And under presentation of committee reports, we have a budget committee recommendation moved by Councillor Jay Dunbar, seconded by Councillor Pastorero. Be it resolved that council accept the recommendation from the budget committee that $15,000 allocated to the 2020 budget from the modernization reserve for the fuel card lock system be reallocated to the 2021 budget to the user fee study. Questions? Discussion? All in favor of this motion? Opposed? And that is carried. You guys are being so agreeable tonight. Should have slipped something in there. And I have a motion under introduction and consideration of bylaws. Moved by Councillor B. Dunbar, seconded by Councillor Wells. Be it resolved that council authorize the mayor and CAO clerk to sign bylaw 21-04, being a bylaw of the Corporation of the Town of Blind River, to enter into an agreement with FedNor for the Blind River Marine Park Waterfront Development Project, was passed in open council this 25th day of January 2021. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. And last but not least, I have a motion from Councillor Summers, seconded by Councillor Roy. Be it resolved that council adjourn the public meeting at 7:07 p.m. All in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. It just shows you, council, you guys did a lot of work. You did a lot of thought beforehand. As I said, this budget process started October 7th, and I think it's thanks to all of our directors and our treasurer, Sue Dent, that we can be so thankful that this process goes so smoothly. So thanks again for your time, and have a great evening.